Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video day, and today I'm going to be previewing the 2024 NBA Finals, as this NBA Finals is going to be a very interesting series between the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. Boston Celtics' second NBA Finals trip in 3 years, and this is Dallas's first NBA championship since the 2010s with Dirk Nowitzki. So Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. Well, the Mavericks are going to be in their first NBA Finals in the Luka Doncic era. Now, while Boston in this Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown era, second trip to the NBA Finals. Now, both head coaches, Jason Kidd and Joe Mazzulla, are going to their first finals as NBA head coaches, as when the Boston Celtics made their first final run in 2022 when they lost to Golden State in 6 games. Ime Udoka was the head coach. We all know what happened there. And now Joe Mazzulla has done a great job stepping up for Ime Udoka. And then this was his first real season being Boston's head coach, as Ime Udoka has been coaching over for my favorite team, the Houston Rockets. But this is going to be a fun series. It starts off tonight at 7 o'clock, and it's going to be a great series. You got Game 1 and Game 2 in Boston. You got Game 3 and Game 4 in Dallas. And then the rest goes. Game 5 would be in Boston if necessary, which is not going to be a sweep. Then Game 6 would be in Dallas, which I feel like this series will get to Game 6 at least, and then Game 7 would be back in Boston. There's not been a Game 7 series in the NBA Finals since the series when the Cavaliers came back from 3-1 to take down the Golden State Warriors in the 2015-16 season. I don't know. I kind of feel like this every year. Didn't really feel like this last year, but I always want to see a 7-game series, and I kind of thought we were going to get it. I didn't really feel the last couple of finals I haven't really felt that way. Boston and Golden State, Curry was just dominating, and when you have guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown struggling the way they did last finals, shooting wise, I didn't really see a 7-game series there. And last year Jokic was just so dominating, but the last couple of finals before that, I mean, with the Bucks and the Suns, I thought that was going to be a 7-game series. It was a great series, and probably should have gone to 7 games. Going back to the finals before that was the Lakers and the Heat. I kind of thought that would go. I thought that had potential to go to a 7-game series, and then, honestly, I think if the Warriors were healthy in that 2018-19 NBA Finals against the Warriors, that Raptors-Warriors final. I think that could have been a 7-game series if the Warriors were healthy. So, a lot of missed opportunities for a potential 7-game NBA Finals, but we haven't seen it since 2016, and I feel like this year is definitely the chance we might see a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. It's been a while. 2016, it's been 8 years. That's crazy. So, I want to go over injuries now. Both teams, are fairly healthy. I mean, yeah, they're both healthy. Kristaps Porzingis, who has been out since Game 4 of the first round, is returning tonight in Game 1, and that's going to be huge for this Boston Celtics team. Now, I'm interested to see, how does he start off this series? Is it a little rough? And also, is there a minute restriction? Because Al Horford, who's had himself a great postseason, if you look at the Cavaliers in the Pacers series, so those are the 2 series where Porzingis has not been there. Horford has done a great job stepping up and starting at that center position. So if you don't want, if I was the Celtics, I would put Porzingis on a minute restriction. I don't know if they're going to do that. I haven't heard anything, but I would think he's been out for a while. It's been over a month. I think for sure they're probably going to put him on a minute restriction. But at the same time, it's the NBA Finals, and he's had some time off. I mean, they were saying that he could potentially come back for the series against the Pacers, and there were talks that he could come back for Game 3, but they didn't rush him back into that. And then the Celtics have been off for the last week and a half. Since both conference finals ended early. So he has had a lot of time off. I mean, realistically, I think he could have returned Game 3 or Game 4 that Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers, but they didn't rush him back. And so, if he could have, come back potentially, looking at almost 2 weeks ago, he's had potentially 2 weeks, 2 weeks off here to heal. Because there were rumors that he'd come back Game 3 or Game 4 of that conference finals, but they didn't rush him back. And so he's had a lot of time off, but I think it should be interesting to see if they, with Al Horford playing as well as he did in the Pacers series and in the end of the Cavaliers series, I don't see why not give Porzingis some minute restrictions for the first couple games of this series, and get Al Horford involved because he's a great player as well. But yeah, Boston, that's and no injuries. I mean, Porzingis has really been their only injury in the past, but he's healthy now, so that's going to be great for them. That's much needed. And I think they're going to need that for their defense going up against this Mavericks team offensively. And then, for Dallas, no injuries as well. Luka is a game time decision for this game tonight, but we all know Luka's playing tonight. They ruled Luka as a game time decision every game. He has that banged up knee. He's going to be ready to go. But Luka has some injuries right now, and his knee's been bothering him throughout the whole postseason, but he still played terrific. So I expect Luka to have a great game and a great series and a great game tonight and a great series. But he's a game time decision. He's gonna play. But if you see that, it's most likely he's gonna be ruled as a game time decision for every game of the series. But he's gonna play. Unless something else happens with that knee, maybe something else, God forbid if something else happened potentially, but I think that that's just he's been ruled the game time decision almost every game. So, but yeah, getting into predictions for this series, game one, I'm gonna do game by game predictions. Game one, I'm going with Boston in this game one. Boston has been dominant in game ones in their last, going back to their last NBA Finals. They've won 5 of their last 7 game ones since the 2022 NBA Finals. And a lot of those games outside of the Golden State Warriors game 1 win in the 2022 NBA Finals, a lot of those games are at home. So they're like 4-2 at home in their last 6 game ones, 5-2 in their last 7 if you're not including the road game. So Boston has been terrific when playing at home, in general in this postseason, but mainly in game ones they've been dominant. Now game twos on the other end, that has been a rough point for this Boston Celtics team. Game twos, Boston, their game 2 win against the Indiana Pacers, which was a blowout win in the Eastern Conference Finals, that was their first game 2 win in 3 series going back to last postseason. So I'm going to believe Dallas doesn't go down 0-2, and they make adjustments after a game 1 loss and win game 2 to tie the series up at 1. Then heading to Dallas. Dallas is a really good home team, but at the same time, Boston is a really good road team. So I don't see Dallas taking both games in Dallas. Obviously, it's possible, right, with them being at home. But you got this. I think the games in Dallas, game 3 and game 4, I think are going to be really good games because Boston plays such great basketball on the road, but Dallas plays so good at home as well. So I'm going with Dallas to win game 3 and take a 2-1 lead, but Boston to tie the series up in game 4 and head back to Boston in a game 5 where I'm going to take the Boston Celtics to win game 5. Boston, again, just like game 1, have been really dominant in game 5s at home. So I feel like they take this game 5 at home. They've been dominant in game 5s at home going back to last postseason. So I have them winning this one against the Dallas Mavericks to take a 3-2 lead. But like I said, I have a feeling that this is going to go to a 7-game series. I just feel this. I feel like this, with how good both teams are offensively and defensively, and how both teams are able to win on the road and win at home, this has the capability and the star power for both teams. This has the capability to be a 7-game series. And going into Dallas, game 6, I believe Luka will send the Mavs to a game 7 back to Boston. Now, what happens in game 7? First game 7 since the 2016 NBA Finals. Who takes it? Is it the home team, the Boston Celtics, or is it Luka getting another road game 7 win? He did that in Phoenix a couple years ago. Now, taking down a 1 seed. Does Luka? I think Luka in a game 7 potential, chance. I feel like Luka's gonna have to have a game of his life because Boston's great at home, like I've mentioned. And it's really hard for me to predict a winner because I feel like both teams are good enough to win this series. And at home, I give the advantage to the Boston Celtics, and I'm gonna crown them as NBA champions, winning in a Game 7. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this, this series. That's the video if you guys enjoyed, and peace out.